Hello there and welcome to the show. It's another Kenyan teacher gracing our screens once again from a country that is the host of about 100 Kenyan teachers. I'm of course talking about Seychelles. We also have something special for you on our back home segment. My name is Michael Zimanji and here is what we have in store.
Daring abroad generally, it brings abroad closer to Kenya.
More from Seychelles, and this time round, meet Eric Mbare, a Kenyan science teacher at Il Perseverance Secondary School.
The work permit was organized by my employer, and then they paid for my air ticket.
On our back home segment, a weekend in Mara. How is it amid COVID-19?
We opened very fast after meeting the COVID protocols.
We're staying at Tipilikwani. It's fantastic. It's right on the edge of the park.
Now, many of us imagine for you to be able to go abroad, it takes some connection and a lot of money. But imagine going abroad from simply surfing the internet. Well, that is Eric Mbare's story, and Alex Chamwada was able to have a sit down with him. And you know, if it's Alex, it is big.
It is the start of a beautiful day here in the land of perpetual summer, Seychelles.
Yes, welcome, Alex. Karibu sana Ushelisheli. Yes, hapa ndio kwetu. Karibu.
Eric Mbare, who has been hosting my crew and I, prepares breakfast as we look forward to yet another busy day in this touristic country. Talk about Kenyan hospitality. As we share the meal, I get to learn more about our host. Eric is a science teacher. He's been living in Seychelles since 2017. After breakfast, we head to his place of work, Il Perseverance Secondary School, where he teaches biology and chemistry. From the laboratories to the classrooms, administration to staff room, I got to see firsthand Eric's day-to-day engagements.
They've not taught you Jambo?
They have. I know Jambo.
Jambo?
Yes, I know. Some of the
Abari?
Abari, Muzuri, yes,
And when I met his colleagues, they all had nothing but praise for Eric, including the principal.
When he started, he was just a simple teacher, and then when the head of department was leaving for her studies, so I asked her, who do you think can take up the position in your stead? Because we didn't want to get somebody from elsewhere to come in. We have people from within. We better have somebody who was there and who's been watching, who's been observing, and who's been learning. So she recommended him. So from 2019 to date, he is the head of department for the science.
Population-wise, Il Perseverance Secondary School has 700 students and 18 staff members, majority of whom are Kenyans.
How many Kenyans do we have? We have one from science, two from maths department, social science we have three from, you see, got a good number of them.
Technical, there's one.
Yes.
Technical, there's one.
English,
one.
We have one.
Yes.
So around 10?
Yes,
Have
around
you?
10 Kenyan
Yes.
teachers.
10 Kenyan teachers.
That's a good number.
Yes, exactly.
In Seychelles, there are only 11 state secondary schools and 25 state primary schools in a country with a population of about 100,000.
Kenyan teachers here.
Well, they are dependable. for one, and moral standard. And another thing is that they are always well groomed. That is very good.
Like I see, Eric, I can
You
see.
can see.
I can see.
Yes, they are always well groomed.
From the school, Eric decides to take me for another scenic tour, but this time round at the beach.
And you are just close to the beach. Unakuja huku pia kuswim.
Hapa nakuja kila weekendi, nakuja hapa kuswim, and even after work in the evening, sometimes I come here. Yes.
Looking at the splendor of the beach, I see why Eric decided to move here. But he tells me that there is more to Seychelles than meets the eye.
Living in Seychelles is very enjoyable. It is one of the places that is very safe. We are treated so well, especially the expatriates. There is no major issue that we have as teachers here. The work permit and everything that pertains to that job was organized by my employer. My employer, which is the Ministry of Education, did everything, and then they paid for my air ticket. Opportunities in Seychelles are usually advertised in the website of the Ministry of Education and any employment agency concerned. So if you check on their websites, you can see some amazing offers there.
When he got this opportunity, Eric was teaching at the popular Miranda High School in Siaya County.
I went to the website of Ministry of Education Seychelles, and there I found job offers which I was qualified to apply. Then I applied. The first thing that happened is that once I had applied, it took like 3 weeks, and then I was invited for an interview that was online. I attended the interview, and after that I was informed that I was successful. A letter of offer was given to me, and I accepted. It again took another 3 months to process all that I needed, because by then I did not even have a passport. I acquired all the documents that were required, and after that I came to this country.
Yes, that is how Eric got his start in Seychelles. His major motivation, the education system.
I was fascinated by the curriculum that is offered here in Seychelles. That is the Cambridge curriculum, and this curriculum is not offered in most schools in Kenya. Only the private schools in Kenya offer this curriculum. So I wanted to have that experience of teaching the Cambridge system.
In addition to this, Seychelles being a hub for Kenyan teachers made the move easier for him.
There are quite a number of teachers here, Alex. Our total number is more than 100 from Kenya. We have a network here of teachers, and we do a lot of things together. So it's like a community here. This island is dotted with a lot of Kenyans. We have Kenyans in the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Tourism. There are a lot of Kenyans, as well as the Fishing Ministry. There are a lot of Kenyans here.
Eric was born in the remote village of Kojwak in 1986 in Kabondo Kasipul constituency, Homa Bay County. He was totally orphaned at a tender age, which made him and his 9 siblings rely mostly on well-wishers and CDF to pay their school fees. Despite the challenges, Eric managed to go to university and graduated with a Bachelor of Education in Chemistry and Biology in 2011 at Kenyatta University. In Seychelles, Eric says he enjoys favorable working conditions, yes, but it takes time to get used to the way of life in a new country.
When you come into a new country, there are quite a lot of challenges, but you have to endure because you are in a new environment. For instance, the kind of food that we love and we eat in Kenya, sometimes they are not here. Like, for example, ugali. Ugali is very rare here, but we are used to that life right now because instead of ugali, we use rice. And then there is also culture shock. Yeah, in a new environment, you experience a lot of culture shock. but we have adjusted. Personally, I've adjusted.
There is also the issue of strict laws. It is not uncommon for one to get in trouble with authorities for not adhering to the country's traffic laws. But even with this, for Eric, the good definitely outweighs the bad.
One is order. It's really orderly. Security is top-notch here. It's very unlikely for somebody to steal from you when you are in this country.
Like many other people, Eric has experienced the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic.
We had to transit from the traditional chalk and board way of teaching to online teaching. So online teaching, we are using Google Classrooms, Zoom, a lot of platforms that enable you to engage your students remotely without necessarily having them physically.
This was, however, short-lived, and despite being slowed down, Eric is currently back on his upward climb. With such success, it is easy for one to forget home, but Eric says that Kenya still holds a special place in his heart, especially his village where he was born and raised. He does, however, share his frustration of not being able to visit Kenya as much as he would like to.
Personally, Alex, I have been affected by COVID in a number of ways because one, traveling back home, there was a time it was restricted. We could not travel. And even right now that the restrictions have been a little bit reduced, still it's not easy because of the tests that you have to undergo and a lot of measures before you exit and you come back.
So far, Eric feels his decision to relocate here was the right one, but the son of Homa Bay County is still not content. He has his eyes set on traveling to other destinations across the globe.
I came here to get experience of Cambridge system of education. I have got it, and right now I would wish to relocate somewhere else so that I get another experience. Yes.
After a long day of sightseeing, we head back to his house.
A lot of exercise for you.
This is a very good exercise. It keeps you fit. Even you, Alex, if you are walking this every day, you will be so much different.
So Eric, tell me, what are some of the things you've learned here, the do's and don'ts? The thing that will land you into trouble.
Okay, Alex, hapa sasa kitu yenye inaweza kukufanya uwe na shida na serikali ikiwa umevunja sheria. Sana sana kama wewe unaendesha gari alafu hauna mshipi, hujafunga mshipi. Hiyo
traffic laws
you
must follow them.
You must follow them.
Hakuna shortcuts.
Hakuna shortcuts. Alafu pia ukitaka kufanya chochote you have to follow the protocol. Hakuna shortcut hapa.
Nasikia hapa hakuna timulungula. No, you can't even think of bribing.
Hapa hiyo utaingizwa ndani. Hapo hakuna debate. Ujaribu tu hivi ndani.
Okay, wow.
As we walk through the island of Mbare, Eric informs me that it is not all work for him here. One of his favorite pastimes is interacting with other Kenyans through a welfare association that they started right here in Seychelles.
I am the secretary to the association. The association is called Nyikwaramogi Welfare Association. This is an association that was founded in 2015. That is way back before I was here. But currently, I can say that it is one of the most vibrant organizations that is run by expatriates in this island. We have a total membership. The latest membership registration that we have is 117. So the main aims and objective as to why this association was formed was to uplift our standard, to help us invest back home. It has not been very easy, but as we are speaking right now, I can say with a lot of authority that we are planning to start investing back Kenya.
So this is the Nyikwaramog representatives, and we welcome you to Seychelles. We'll be here for you, we'll help you in everything you want.
We contribute money every month, and this money goes to investment. At first, we did not have enough money for thinking about investment, but currently we are in a position to talk about investment. There are a number of investment plans that we've so far earmarked, and we are going to embark on implementation now back at home.
When we called it a day, we decided to end it in Kenyan style once again with another home-cooked meal by Chef Eric and yours truly. And this reminded us the connection we have with our motherland.
Wow, thank you, Alex, for that amazing story. Time now for a break, but when we return, our new segment Back Home, we will take you to the Mara. Welcome back to the show. Now, before traveling to Seychelles, Alex Chamwada was able to spend time at the Mara and find out how is it amid the COVID-19 pandemic. And that is the focus of today's Back Home segment, where we focus on opportunities in Kenya.
It is always adventurous traveling to Masai Mara by road. The roads are good. You get to see a lot on the way. And within about 5 hours, pap, you are at the gate of Masai Mara National Reserve, one of the most visited magical places in Kenya. The reserve is under the management of the Narok County government. We check in at Tipilikwani Mara camp, quite in time for lunch. After lunch, we begin an afternoon game drive. Remember, most game drives are done in the morning and in the evening. That is when it is cool enough for animals to come out of their hiding. Our tour guide is Francis Siemon Tubula.
The big five, especially the black rhino that we have in the Masai Mara, is one very mean animal, always shy and aggressive at the same time. Before we start our safari, we got some little 1 or 2 briefings before we kick off. So first, you need to know this is an open vehicle that exposes you right to the nature. So you get to be careful, especially to your cell phones, otherwise you drop one in the long grass, I know it will mess up with your heartbeat. I will always discourage people from littering the park, and that's one of the things. Second thing, I will always discourage people breaking any form of rule, especially sitting on the car roof cover, and at the same time maybe distracting animal, like yelling at them. We have some excitement.
A weekend is enough to see a lot in the park, but today allow me to pick only 2 moments, a moment with elephants and a moment with cheetahs. Let's begin with elephants.
In general information, the elephants live up to about 60 years with a gestation period of up to 22 months. A newborn baby elephant weighs up to 120 kilos immediately born. These guys live in familyhood, whereby the family is headed or ruled by the senior-most female that we call the matriarch.
Now on to a moment with cheetahs. A moment that brought everything to a standstill at some point, as 4 cheetahs majestically walked by, marking their territory, occasionally mingling with a convoy of about 30 tour vehicles freely. A cheetah is the world's fastest animal on land. It can run at 112 to 117 kilometers per hour, but it is a limited speed that lasts for only about 30 seconds. Tipilikwani gave us yet another treat, a sundaona, and here we interacted with both local and international tourists.
My name is Bobby Clark. I work for foundations. I advise foundations on their investments. And I live in Dallas, Texas.
What made you come to Kenya?
I have loved Africa since I was a very small child. This is my second time in Kenya. I love Kenya because the country does such a good job of protecting wildlife and protecting beautiful spaces, and there are so many beautiful spaces to see. We're staying at Tipilikwani.
How is it for you there?
It's fantastic. It's right on the edge of the park. We have animals that come into the camp at night, so we have to be careful. And the staff is wonderful. They're very kind.
My name is Nazim Karim. I have been to 10, 11 parks, Samburu, Savo, Amboseli, Manyara, everywhere, with my parents when I was young. But I came 7 years ago with my children for the first time. They were born in California, so I brought them here to see where their parents came from. And we came to Mara. So suddenly we are in the middle of this huge 1,500 square mile park with a beautiful sun rays behind us. And who could have expected this? It's amazing. It is a sort of once in a lifetime experience. Beautiful.
Every day is unique at the Mara as we enjoy our stay at Tipilikwani Mara camp. Theo Shumwe is the camp manager.
You can imagine if you're swimming and the animals are there, grazing. It's like you're swimming next to the animals.
Masai Mara is known for wildebeest migration, one of the greatest wonders of the world that happens during the peak season between July and October.
The reason why Mara has become so popular is because of the wildebeest migration. And that's why it is the seventh wonder of the world. And the location of our camp, Tipilikwani, is quite ideal because access to the crossing areas is like a half an hour drive away to 45 minutes. In fact, Talek River, which actually border us and the park, normally the wildebeest come to take water from the Talek River.
Tipilikwani camp is known for exclusivity.
The main unique feature about Tipilikwani are the tents. Actually, the tents are quite huge. The beds are actually custom made. They're queen size for the twin and king size for the double bed. The main supplier of clients to Tipilikwani is Americans, Canadians, Australians and Germans. But since 2020, when we've had very few foreigners coming in, quite a number of locals have really supported us. And we've adjusted our product to fit their needs.
Great, so much to plunge into, so much to enjoy at Tipilikwani Mara camp. There is time for everything, and this is it for today. Let's share more in our next episode.
What a beautiful story from the Mara by Alex Chamwada, and that segment marks the end of our show today. On behalf of the crew that was involved in the production of this week's episode, we say thank you for tuning in and see you next week.